What is going on, guys? The Philly Shakedown podcast is back tonight. I know we've been canceling a lot. Obviously, it's the news, the Eagles news has been kind of dry, and it's really nice for us to to take a break. So me and Philly 500 pretty much figured we would take a break and kind of get away from the football world for a little bit and pretty much hone in our own lives. And now we're back, and things are going to heat up. Eagles training camp at the end of the month. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
What is up, Joey Shakes, my man? Hey, look, for us right now, Philly Shakedown podcast, football season started because this is it. We're back, and we're back through at least the season. Most likely going to be every week. So I'm excited. We did need a break. I went away, then you went away, then there were things going on, family stuff, and there wasn't a whole lot of news. So we figured, just rest up because it's about to get crazy. So I'm good, man. I'm refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah, and honestly, we haven't streamed since when? When's the last time we actually streamed?
I think we were looking. I think it was June. I think it was like June 8th.
Oh,
no, June.
man.
No, like June 7th, 6th, something.
Yeah.
Like. It was with Joe Castro. Shout out to Philly the podcast.
So I want to. All right. So I appreciate everybody being here today. Obviously, we're gonna go over. I mean, I really know there's not much going on, but there is still stuff to talk about as for the Eagles and what they're doing at the cornerback position. Nothing going on with Zach Ertz yet. I figured that at least when one of us was on vacation, that something would have happened at least.
Right.
And nothing has. What do you think is happening with the Zach Ertz situation right now? At least right now.
I was watching Tombstone the other night because I really thought when I was away and I'm like, I'm going to take some days off. I was like, it's going to be busy. There's going to be all these moves and I'm not going to get a break. So I think it's pretty much, they're all playing poker. I think everybody's got their poker face on and we're waiting to see who's going to fold first. I think the Eagles have a specific price for a corner. And, or for Zach Ertz, and teams want him. But, when teams know you're trying to get rid of him, they don't want to give you a lot. So I think right now we're basically in a stalemate and where everybody's got their poker face on and we're going to see who folds. I don't think Zach Ertz is coming back. I don't. I can't see how that's going to happen. You saw the reports, right, that the Eagles informed Ertz that he's not the starter. That he is going to backing up Goedert. So no matter what, I don't see at that point how you can bring him back.
No, especially Richard Rodgers getting signed as well. That kind of I was kind of stunned at that because you know what? Like you had Jack Stahl, you had Caleb Wilson, you have Jason Kroom, you had some of these other guys that I would think that maybe they would want to kind of develop a little bit and see what they could do. But bringing Richard Rodgers was kind of like I was really actually surprised over it. But to be honest with you, even last year he was in 4 games. He actually played pretty well. Obviously, Zach Ertz was hurt last year, and, he did drop some passes. Obviously, we can't, like I said, guys, we can't single out one person from this offense because this whole offense was terrible last year. But because when we hold on to players for too long, we start to pay the price for it. And I think we are paying the price for Zach Ertz right now. And, we should have let him go a couple years ago. Probably should have. I mean, when you look back at it, probably should have let him go and, let Dallas Goedert be that number 1 tight end. And look, and look, we both got attacked on that. And people were thinking that both of these guys were going to get signed. Like, we could just re-sign Zach Ertz. At least the Eagles attempted or at least tried because at the end of the day, if you agree with this or not, I don't think Zach Ertz is worth George Kittle, Travis Kelce, or Austin Hooper money. I don't even think that's even the case right now.
No. And if we go back even 1 year ago, people would say he was, right? If we go back even to last offseason, people would say, yeah, he's worth that kind of money. But, people like me and you, and after 2019, after he rejected the contract offer, people said, we've got to trade him now. That was the time to trade him because you're going to get value. Now, I know people get attached to players, right? We all do. He won a Super Bowl for us. He scored the game-winning touchdown. We love Zach Ertz. We all love him, okay? But the way the NFL is structured and the way it works today, you can't keep paying guys for past performances. You got to pay for what they could do in the future. You got to reward them somewhat for what they did in the past, but you also have to think about what they're going to give you in the future. And Ertz was hurt last year. He wants big money. And when you invest in a tight end like Dallas Goedert, at that point, the writing's on the wall. That's how I see it, you know?
So even with him getting an extension, or there have been talks about Dallas Goedert getting that extension now. So I think the Eagles do want to get this done. Even if they give him this extension, though, I don't think it's going to affect anything this year because obviously it's a new contract after this year. So that money will not actually affect our cap until next year, which obviously probably will be in a better position cap-wise and, draft compensation on top of it. So
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure he'll get his signing bonus up front money. And then the contract probably will be an extension. But I'm telling you right now, the smartest thing the Eagles can do is sign Dallas Goedert right now. Do not let him play this year where he has a huge monster year, and then he wants more money. Sign him now. You invested a second-round pick in him, right? You have to sign him now. Sign him now and get it done before the season starts. I think this is a crucial thing. I think they have to do that. And then the next offseason, as soon as you can, do the same thing with Miles Sanders. Sign him to an extension when he's eligible. But you got to get this Goedert contract done. I really believe that. I think it's key.
I think, and it's unfortunate that we had to kind of wait this long for him to be the number one tight end. Look, I know he was the number two. I know we did double tight end sets, but it's not making him the number one. It's not making him one of the focal points to this offense. So when you have him as the number one, especially on a contract year, this is going to be a really important year. So the Eagles really need to get that done. I mean, some people are even saying that, maybe he doesn't deserve this contract yet, that maybe he hasn't proved himself yet. And I think he's proved toughness. I think he's proved that he can be an elite blocker. I think he's another 50-50 possession receiver out there, throw the ball up to him. And I think he's tough. I mean, I think he's shown enough to where he's run by a whole defense. If Nick Sirianni puts these guys in the right positions, he likes utilizing these tight ends, and kind of signing Richard Rodgers may tell me that maybe they will use double tight end sets, maybe 12 personnel. I don't know, but Dallas Goedert, they need to get this done as soon as possible because I'm excited for him, especially in this offense. I know he's going to bring a lot more to the table now.
What I heard was that they are going to get away from the double tight end sets. They're going to still use it, but just not nearly as much. And to be honest with you, I felt like last year, and I said this the last few years, that the kind of the 12-man personnel the Eagles are running all the time, it's kind of old. Defenses that adjust. You need more speed on the field, and Nick Sirianni seems to know this. So I'm very excited about that. And as far as Dallas Goedert, does he deserve the extension? Maybe he hasn't done enough right now, but we're paying him for future things, not for past things. That's the key. That means you have an ascending player a lot of times. To me, Goedert can play. Okay, he's got to stay healthy. But guess what? Zach Ertz, first few years of his career, he was hurt all the time too. So it happens.
Yeah, definitely. We have from Nady Banks 03 says, "Sup, Joe? You're the man. I know you like the wide receiver tandem. It's really starting to remind me of Jackson Macklin and Jason Avant. What do you think?" I think it's honestly a wait and see approach to this offense. But I mean, I have a lot of praise. I mean, I think this could be a top offense this year. I really do. I'm not being biased. I think me and you agree. I think this offense might surprise us this year. If Nick Sirianni is on point and knows how to use these players to their strengths, which I know he did it with the Colts, and I know he knows every player's strengths, weaknesses. I think he's going to utilize these wide receivers the right way and put these guys in a good position to win football games. So I'm not going to say it's going to be just like that. I want it to be different. I don't need it to be like that, Jackson, Macklin, Jason Avant. I want it to be different, and I want us to create our own type of set group that's going to be explosive this year. Yeah,
well, look, Deshaun Jackson is one of the great, if not maybe the best deep threats of all time. Okay, he's one of the great deep threats of all time. But when you talk about a pure receiver, I think Devontae Smith has way higher upside, dude. I think he has way higher upside than Deshaun Jackson. I know that's saying a lot, but I think he's a complete receiver when we talk about Devontae Smith. Can Rager be better than Macklin? I don't know. And then the other guys, we don't know. They're young, but there's talent there. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, I think Devontae Smith is an absolute stud.
No, it definitely is. And obviously, there was a comment up top. I guess the ESPYs were today. It looked like, I think he won College Athlete of the Year. Devontae Smith won College Athlete of the Year, which is great. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome, man. He was awesome. How the hell is he ranked so low as far as rookie wide receivers this year? Because Jalen Hurts is his quarterback? Like I think that as soon as you get drafted by the Eagles, you get treated bad. I really do. I think if Devontae Smith was a Giant, all we would hear about is Devontae Smith. He's a complete stud, dude. Complete stud.
Yeah, even if Devontae Smith went to the Giants, would he even start this year? Because they're loaded at receiver right now. I mean, they have so many. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it would go. I think they would just toss him obviously in the stock barrel in the back. So
I tell you, I've been praising Devontae Smith all season. He was one of my top 4 guys I wanted. Right. I think if he was the same size, okay, as I don't know, whoever. To say he's 190, 200 pounds, he's the best receiver in the draft. And it's not even close. So, it is what it is. Jolo, what's happening, my man?
Jolo. So welcome back, guys. Glad the podcast is back. Time for that Philly Shakedown.
You know it.
Dude, we're excited. We're really excited. And we're glad we're back. We're recharged the batteries a little bit.
Yep.
And we're good to go. So Jason Brown says, don't take Sherman. That would be an absolute stupid move. And we've talked, and honestly, we haven't talked about this since obviously we streamed last month, but this corner situation is probably one of the biggest holes that we have. Obviously, opposite of Darius Slay, we have nobody. I mean, we don't trust what we have right there behind Avonte Maddox, Josiah Scott, a couple other guys we have undrafted, but what do you think's going to happen with this corner spot? Who do you think is the target? There has been news. Steven Nelson still teasing. Every single week. And then obviously the new reports came out yesterday from Geoff Mosher about pondering a signing of Richard Sherman.
Yeah, the pondering thing makes me think that just off the top of my head makes me think they're trying to get that out there. They're trying to get that out there in order to drive Steven Nelson's price down. Here's my thing. I have to agree with Jason Brown. I mean, I know a lot of people like Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was a very great corner in this league. But he's, 30-something years old right now? If I have to choose a corner, I would rather bring Steven Nelson. Even if it's for 1 year, he's only 28 years old. Maybe he has a good year, you keep him. You could get 2-3 years out of him. Richard Sherman, you get 1 year out of. That's it. I would rather go younger. That's just me. And I think it would be a little cheaper. So I think taking Sherman's not the right move. I think going after Steven Nelson should be the guy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I know there's been a lot of mock trades about trading for Xavier Howard or a Stephon Gilmore trade, but it's just not the right time. Number one, the cap space is a huge problem right now. I mean, with Xavier Howard, it's like he signed a 5-year, $75 million contract in 2019. He thinks he's played over that, which I think he has. He's got 18 picks in 2-3 years. It's crazy.
Right.
And he's definitely a true number one, but we have to take what we can get. People are like, well, why'd Steven Nelson hold for this long? Well, some of these solid free agents, they will hold because they want teams to go through the draft, get their guys, and then obviously they want to find the right team where they're going to fit and become a starter. So they're not going onto a roster too early to where they have to compete, or I don't know, but they're guaranteed a spot.
What was he asking for? Wasn't it $8 to $10 million or somewhere like that? So he was asking for a lot. He wasn't getting any bites. So what does he do? Exactly what you say. You hold out, you wait, and you try to get in a situation that's best for you, and who's going to offer you the most money. He's going to have to come way down. They say right now he wants $5 million. The Eagles want to pay him $3 million, something like that. To me, it's simple, man. If I'm Steven Nelson, the Eagles are the perfect fit because I go there and I start immediately. Right. But it's a poker game being played. And the thing is, what sucks about the whole corner situation is I feel like nothing can happen until they do something with Ertz to free up that money.
Yeah, well, plus they got to sign Landon Dickerson on top of it. They haven't signed him. You know what? That contract might be it might not be a problem, but it might be kind of because he's going to become our starting center next year. So, you can't give him too low. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. You go finish your statement.
No, I'm just saying, the numbers is probably, I wouldn't say the numbers are a problem, but because he's going to become a starter next year, they're going to have to his contract, increase it a little bit, or kind of do something to where he's going to be comfortable and satisfied. I don't know.
Well, most of those picks are all supposed to be slotted rates, right? I mean, you slot the draft now. So there's only so much he can make. So what it tells me is it's all about his medical. They probably are worried about his medical, which then you have to ask yourself, then why did you draft him in the second round? If you don't trust his medicals and you're trying to have something in his contract, then why would you risk it? I mean, that worries me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I still think he's going to be a great player if he's healthy. But anybody that says is worried about his injuries, it's a fair thing. It's fair.
Yeah, no, I think the same way as well. Like, look, like we said during the draft, we said the big battle between the analytics department and obviously, I agree that this was an analytical pick. This was a high ceiling. They looked at how much ceiling that Landon Dickerson has more. I mean, because look, I think we both agreed we should have got a corner. Or at least that or JOK. I mean, we were hoping at that point we've had, and we were so excited. And obviously, we were sitting in the stream and, Landon Dickerson had one Achilles. Okay. And then it was like 2 Achilles. And then it was 2 knee injuries, 2 ankle injuries. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? Who did they draft? Like, what?
I was going to JOK if they drafted JOK. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like if you want to land a Dickerson, take JOK or a corner and then come back up and get him. That's what I would have done. But, it's water under the bridge now. It's just why can't they get the contract done? And if I have to put money on it, I think it has to do with his injuries and contract based with his. That's what I think.
Yeah, and and I'm not saying like me and Philly 500 had said during the draft and after that until now, like we have no problem with the player. It's really not the player. Like the videos that we've seen on Landon Dickerson. I mean at 6'6", 320. Oh my God! I mean physical, tough. I mean he could probably play any position on the line at this point. I mean I had speculation like going to next year. Like if we had the money next year, like. If they put Landon Dickerson at left guard next to Mulata and they actually got a free agent center next year, that would be a good thing too. But I understand like it would cost. Centers are not cheap. So
yeah. Well, I think. I'm expecting him to come back and be a good player, but I don't expect much from him this year. Right. But I think he's very talented. I mean, if the guy plays, he's going to be a stud. I'm not worried about that. Just worried about his injuries. I'm just thinking that the reason for the holdup with the contract probably has to do with medical issues.
Yeah, I agree.
Like language within the contract so they can get out if he keeps getting hurt, or how much money he's going to get if he's cut for injury.
Why'd you draft him? Why are you thinking about that? Like, this is what I don't get. This is where I go out of my mind.
That's exactly right. That's exactly how I feel.
We got a super chat for Richie FC. Appreciate it, man. It says, just because. Sorry if I messed up the chat. You're good, dude. Appreciate you being here. As always. Always here, always supporting. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man. Shout out to you.
We got Big Play Slate. Says, Joey Shakes, you want a Brian Dawkins jersey and Eagles Uncensored drawing. I didn't get a message. I didn't get a message, but I'll contact him in case I missed it. I don't know if he was streaming. I know he was streaming with the Nest Out West the other day, but... Yeah,
Shakedown is winning all the drawings, dude. I just won me a Mark Holmes Joe Boo Trophy, whatever the hell it's called, and then you won. Look at that! I got to give Mark Holmes a shout out real quick too. I saw a video where he got the trophy that I won signed by Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. So I think that was really really cool of him. I'll probably do a video on it, talking about it tomorrow. But I just want to give him a shout out, man, and tell him thank you.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
There is 102 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. And, the Philly Shakedown hasn't been around in a while, so appreciate everybody being here.
102 in July right now. It's not bad. Saturday night in July. Yeah. Good.
So, guys haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, like the stream if you guys have it. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the other half, the best part of the Philly Shakedown, it's Philly 500. You go to the description.
I'm just a scribbler.
Just a scribbler. Go to the description below and sub him up if you guys have it, guys. We're back. We're ready to go. We're locked and loaded. By the end of this stream, we're going to talk about a plan for next week, so stay tuned for that as well. We have some different things we're going to be doing in the coming weeks, stream-wise. So, I don't know. This is just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, shit. I can't even say, but I want to, but I can't. It's like at the tip of my tongue, but I just better shut the hell up. I better shut up.
We got a super chat from Richie MC. Says, Shakes, you won a Brian Dawkins jersey. Congrats. All right, well, hey, Eagles Uncensored, appreciate you drawing me out of that. And, yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'll make
Shout
sure
out to Eagles Uncensored.
Yeah, just hit 100 subs as well. Subscribe to his channel. If you guys just type in Eagles Uncensored, you'll see his channel immediately. He's been working really hard with his streams and stuff, and it's a channel where you can go and speak your mind. Don't matter how you talk, everything is obviously accepted. So appreciate everybody going to his channel and subbing him. We got Paul Mancini says Conley is worse than Craig James and Jaquette. So obviously, Gary Conley is still a free agent out there as well. Do you take a chance? Is it kind of too late to even try to, try to develop him? Or do you, Michael Jaquette, Jaquette is a whole nother story because I thought he actually played pretty well during that Cardinals game. And then once he got to that Cowboys game, I kind of lost all faith. But what do you think about it?
It's so hard to know right now because I even think about Avonte Maddox. I think, what if changing coaches, right, and bringing in a guy like Jonathan Gannon, somebody who can develop the secondary, what if a guy like Avonte Maddox plays much better? What if all these guys play a lot better? Because what we saw under Schwartz was that no matter who you put in that corner, they always seem to struggle. They even Slay at times. So to me, I wonder if the system will fix a lot of the problems. But as far as Conley goes, I don't mind bringing Conley in to see if you can work with him, but he can't be the answer. You know what I mean? Like, if you get Conley, you still got to go get a Steven Nelson or somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right. No, you have to. And look, the money is, I think it's like 4.5. I think it's like 3.5 million, 4.5 million. We're somewhere in between then with cap space. It's just kind of crazy. So this Zach Ertz, which I can't stand because this Zach Ertz trade is kind of controlling our destiny where, it doesn't matter because whether we get rid of him or trade him, we're getting the same money anyway.
Right.
So at this point, they just got to pull the trigger. If they get anything higher than a 6th-round pick, I'll be probably more surprised than most.
I honestly think at this point, and I did a video on this a couple weeks ago, I think you have to, we're at the point now where you have to play this thing out. You have to play your hand out. You have to go into preseason. You have to even go through some games and then trade them when somebody goes down, when somebody gets hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I would do because they waited so long at this point. Maybe you can get something for him. I want at least a 4th-round pick for him. I do. And I don't know what they're going to get. A 5th-round pick, okay. Even if I have to get a 4th-round pick in 2023, I'm okay with it at this point. Just get a 4th-round pick, no worse.
Yeah, I don't even care if it's a late to a mid-round pick and a few years down the road at this point. I don't even care at this much, but they got to get. I just want the cap space. At the end of the day, we got to get a player here. That's what it's going to come down to because I think the whole roster is pretty much set. Obviously it's going to be competition. Obviously it's really up to the coaching staff during training camp, develop these guys, see what they have, and obviously having 3 preseason games this year, which we have a whole offseason and a regular offseason this year is really going to help. It's not only our quarterback and Jalen Hurts, but this whole entire team.
Well, what if they do this? What if they get rid of Ertz and don't sign a corner? What would that tell you? Because if to me you add a guy like Steven Nelson right now, I think you can win this division. Now, I really think this whole defense is going to be based upon that defensive line. The defensive line is the key. I think people have to understand Derek Barnett is a big key this year. He's making $10 million. $10 million. He has to go out and play like a 1st-round defensive end. And if he can't do it, you have to give Josh Sweat a chance.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even when you talk about the defensive line, I mean, you have to see what you get. Like, if Derek Barnett gets like double-digit sacks this year and balls out, then yeah, I would re-sign him because then you're catching him at the right. I mean, he's what, 24, 25? Right. I mean, you got to do it. So,
absolutely.
Josh Sweat is obviously just getting better every single year. Like, if he's not getting injured, like, we could see a lot more from him as well. And then you add Ryan Kerrigan to the mix on top of it as a rotational piece.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal. It is.
Yeah, and that's the bread and butter of this defense still. It's going to be that defensive line.
So Inhuman Gaming says, what's your opinion on the Eagles' offseason moves like signing up Anthony, I think he means Anthony Harris, Eric Smith, and Andrew Adams, trading Wentz and moving Ertz to QB1, releasing Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey?
That's a loaded question, dude. Now, you want to take that one first?
I'll take it. I'll take it. So, obviously, like free agency, obviously it was very slow and strategic because going into I think the first day of free agency, we had $3 million under the cap. And just think, guys, like when you restructure, you don't restructure to get under the cap. Like you do, but not from $70 million. Okay, let's get that straight. Like to restructure from $70 million, that's a lot of restructuring. Right. So, you get Anthony Harris, which, obviously, a good safety, played in a very injured, Vikings secondary last year. And obviously before that, he led the league in interceptions, and he was playing on $11 million franchise tag. So I thought he was a good signing, and obviously it's a one-year deal, so you don't know what's going to happen. Like, do the Eagles keep somebody like that? Who knows? Rodney McLeod could be coming back at safety. First game of the season, that's what he's aiming for. Is Kevon Wallace going to get a shot, or are they doing 3 safety sets this year? Are they going to add him into the mix? I really don't know. Andrew Adams obviously is a special teams piece, is mostly going to be just a backup. He's got some starting quality, like he could start, he could play, but do I think he's going to make a difference? Maybe not, but who knows? And then going on to obviously trading Wentz, the composition, compensation was, I guess, fair. I mean, if you're another team trading for Carson Wentz, what are you really looking at? I mean, you're not going to get, a lot of people thought it was 2 first-round picks. If we were trading Wentz after the 2017 season, guaranteed to have 2 first-round picks in 2018. But that didn't happen, obviously, because we kept on. But I think Jalen Hurts, it might be a blessing in disguise, whether Jalen Hurts is a success or a failure down the road. I think, if Jalen Hurts, just say he wins a Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles and he does so well for us, we're always going to hate that pick. Like, we're always going to hate it. You know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, might be a blessing in disguise that we did draft him. And now he has an off season. You see Quez Watkins working his tail off. Travis Fulgham, there's a lot of video on him working his tail off. Aaron Moorhead, the wide receiver coach, has been talking about this wide receiver core being so hungry this year. Right. And Greg Ward is the oldest receiver we have. Right. So it's really telling you that this is a new era. This is a Nick Sirianni era. This is, Jalen Hurts is going to gravitate those players towards him. There's going to be a lot of swagger in this offense. It's going to be really explosive. And we just didn't see enough of these receivers last year. Like, we didn't see enough. We saw a little bit of Quez, but we want to see more. We saw, since week 4, since Travis Fulgham was leading the league in receiving yards, and he had over 530 yards in 8 games. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, he could have done so much more. Obviously, with the injury, obviously with everything else that went into it, we want to see more. Jalen Reagor wasn't used the right way, and people are thinking he's a bust. I mean, you have a lot of John Hightower, had some drops beginning of the season, but, I thought they used him the right way. I thought they should have at least worked him more middle of the field, because there was a lot of different tape I seen at Boise State than I did what the Eagles did. I thought they just used him on those vertical go routes, and that was pretty much it with that. But with Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey being gone, I was totally fine with it. I was expecting, I think me and Philly 500 were, and I think everybody else here was expecting those two to be gone. Yeah. So. Well,
yeah, so it's a big question, because really, if we're going to start with this all-season move, the first thing you got to think about is the coaching staff, right? You got rid of Doug Peterson. Now, I was surprised that they let Doug Peterson go, because he gave you a Super Bowl and 3 straight playoffs appearances. I personally would have given him 1 more year. Okay. Now, there might have been internal conflicts about who his offensive coordinator and defensive and all that stuff was going to be, but I would have done that. And then you go to the Carson Wentz trading. I did not like the idea of trading Carson Wentz. I would not have done it. Okay. And that is not a reflection on Jalen Hurts or what he could be. I wanted an open competition, and I wanted the best guy to go, because when you invest the amount of draft picks, the amount of money that you invested in a quarterback. I just don't give up on him after 1 year. Now, if he's a baby and a little bitch boy because he didn't get his way and he got benched, well, he's got to get over it, man up, and then come beat out Jalen Hurts. But I wouldn't have done that. But it is what it is. I was surprised they got a first-round pick for him. Okay? And then as far as, getting rid of Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey, totally okay with. I think they should have gotten rid of more, older guys. And then Anthony Harris and Eric Smith, I believe, were the two best value signings in free agency. So, there's things I wouldn't have done. There's some things I would have done. I'm not going to sit there and keep crying about Carson Wentz. It's over with. But I probably would have given him and Doug at least one more year. And I wanted Carson to have open competition. Like, I wanted him to go compete for the job. And he really disappointed me. I lost respect for him, the fact that he didn't want to fight. That really bothered me about him.
When you talk about the coaching staff, and when you talk about, I think when Jeffrey Lurie had the meeting with Doug Peterson saying, what is your plan for 2021 and beyond? And when Doug put out the plan saying, I want to make Press Taylor my OC, and I want to make Mac Burke my defensive coordinator, that's a problem because all he's doing is moving coaches around. This is the problem. Like, Doug is way too... Look, I have no problem with Doug. It's not because of the Super Bowl. It's because I think genuinely he in his own mind, he's doing the right thing when he's really not doing the right thing to us. Right. So it's really hard. Doug's a nice guy and everything, but it's just not showing on the field. It's like the more we lose, the more frustrated he gets, and you can see it on his face. He struggles, and you're going off of a percentage chart for 2-point convert. Going on fourth down and 2-point conversions, and it's got to stop. Having your offensive gurus, around you. I know in San Francisco they do that, but here it's just not working. Yeah. So. You know what I mean? So they kind of had to, change it around. And obviously when they kept hiring the coaches one by one, I wasn't complaining. I wasn't making a video saying, I have a problem with Jonathan Gannon. But I really didn't have a problem with really any. And they all have the same mindset as Nick Sirianni does. Fundamentals, competition, and nothing less than perfect when you're coaching these players. So. Right.
I would have given Doug one more year only out of respect for what he did. Okay, but I got a lot of heat for this the other day because I did a video and I said I think, and this was meant to be a prediction, that I think Sirianni is going to end up being an upgrade over Doug Peterson. And the reason I say that is because if you look at Doug Peterson after 2017, when Frank Reich left, he was not the same. He did not know how to run his offense right. He did not know how to use players. And if you want a perfect example of a guy I'm talking about, think about Golden Tate. You bring in Golden Tate for a third-round pick, and your offensive coordinator goes in and says, we don't know how to use him. That's a problem, okay? And if we're ever going to get over the Howie vision and the Howie era, okay, we have to know whether it's his drafting or the coaches can't develop players. Doug was not developing young guys. How come Rasul Douglas goes to Carolina and is successful? How come Sidney Jones goes to Jacksonville? He's successful. Why are these guys going other places and being successful and not in Philly? That is a fair question. So I think player development, the fact that we're going to have money and we're going to do what we did, drafting players and having them work out is important. And I don't think the Eagles front office thought Doug could develop young guys.
No, and you know what? It's like, but at the same time, it's like Howie Roseman. How long is he gonna? I'm drafting the guys. There's gonna be so long for Howie Roseman to say, "Well, I'm," who do we have left from this 2000 the Super Bowl draft? I mean,
well, you know what I mean? If Sirianni goes out and hopefully he's a good coach, but if he's a bad coach, hopefully they don't blame him and then they keep Howie and Howie never leaves and it's like 2052 and Howie Roseman's still running this shit. I'm going to be pissed off.
No, I think what's really going to be interesting, we thought this offseason was wild because of having no cap and the moves that we did make that were slow strategic, then going to the draft and almost having a draft to where you look back at it and say, It's actually not a bad draft. We actually drafted pretty good. Besides that second-round pick that was kind of iffy, I thought it was a pretty good draft. But going into 2022, we thought we're going to add a spicy meatball to the pot because now potentially 3 first-round picks. You can have 20, like at least $30 to $50 million in cap space. On top of everything else, I believe that more veterans will get cut or traded next year.
They're going to end up having most likely. Are you there?
Yeah, my bad. It's me. It's me.
I think they're going to end up having like $50 to $70 million under the cap. Next offseason is going to be fascinating. But
Right.
if the Eagles do it right, if they draft right, if they keep the right guys and develop the young guys they have, this team could be set up to be a monster. My hope is Jalen Hurts works out, the receivers work out, everybody works out, especially the offensive side of the ball. And then you go into the draft. Hey, draft the corner, draft the defensive end, draft the linebacker. Right there to set the foundation for your whole defense. So next offseason is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. Sorry, I'm fixing my camera right now. But I am not here. I'm not here, but I am here. But I'm saying I think I think it's going to go for. I think it's going to look. I think the coaches they acquired. I think it's going to be they got a developmental coaching staff. They have a coaching staff that knows their players inside and out, and they're going to get a lot of production. And look, if I see a few draft picks that are producing, I'm telling you, like I'm looking at Teron Jackson at defensive end. I'm looking at a few guys right now. Kenneth Gainwell, or Professor. What do you call him? Professor Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, he sounds like he's like working with Bruce Banner over gamma radiation. You know what I mean? Kenneth Gainwell. That sounds like a professor, dude.
There is 108 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate everybody being here tonight for the Philly Shakedown podcast. We're back. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Guys, haven't liked the stream, like the stream before you leave today. It does help the channel out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the other best half of the Philly Shakedown podcast, Philly 500, link in the description below, and obviously other links to support me as well. Appreciate everybody tuning in on a dead month. Well, not really a dead month, but we're kind of we're getting close to training camp. So appreciate everybody, the 105 people in here. I appreciate all you guys being here today.
It's going to slowly start picking up week to week because we're about 3 weeks from camp, so it's going to pick up and we'll be ready for it. Be ready to go. Oh wait, one thing I forgot. I almost do. I can't. I forget this. I got to give a happy birthday to my youngest daughter. Happy birthday. She turned 11 years old today. We're going to celebrate after the show. And I just want to say happy birthday, Gia. I love you. I know I'm a crazy dad, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. My kids think I'm nuts, dude. Do you realize? My kids are like, they look at me like I'm nuts. Like I'm like watching a TV show for them. You know what I mean?
Wait till they watch your videos. Wait till they watch your videos.
Oh, they watch it. Believe me. Sometimes. So
we got Paul Mancini here. Wait, go ahead. What?
No, I was just gonna say, the one time they watch. In all honesty, I did the whole. Remember my old intro with Carson Wentz after 2 years, and then Dak Prescott holding a dildo. Like they're like, "What's he holding, Dad?" I'm like, "A hot dog." Like, shit. One time my kids watched my video.
Paul Mancini says you can't have Ertz come or not report to camp. Way too many distractions for the team and questions every day about his status. Who needs this with a new coaching staff?
Well, I mean, I think you have. I mean, at this point, what are you losing? Like, what are we going to lose if we bring him in and he doesn't report to camp? He gets fined and he doesn't even get through his year. He doesn't count as a year towards his contract, so he's stuck. He's got to come. And then, is he going to be a distraction? Maybe, but I think Ertz is a classy enough guy to come in and play it right. And if you're the Eagles, you tell him you got to play it right. I think of Sam Stinkford, right? When he came into camp, he was supposed to be the starter. The Eagles played it perfectly. They had a quarterback go down, then you moved him, you got a first-round pick. Otherwise, you're just giving him away for nothing. Now, if that's what they want to do, fine. But I think at this point, if I could give him away week 3 of the preseason, or I can just cut him in final cuts, or I possibly can get him, I'll take my chances. That's how I see it. I understand what he's saying, but to me, what are you really losing?
I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know what. I mean, there's only one answer out of all this. Like, I think the Eagles have done their due diligence and have tried to. I think they've tried to do what's right. You know what I mean? I think they can only do what's best. Obviously, if it was up to Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, they would keep him. I mean, if it was really up to them, we were good in cap space. I think they would keep him. But because
thank God they're not.
And thank God they're not. And thank God Zach Ertz didn't accept one of those 2 contracts. Like, this is how messed up this is. Like, you're going to sign 2. I mean, who knows if Dallas Goedert was going to get his extension? Who knows if Zach Ertz was signing big money right now? Who knows what would have happened?
Well, what would I mean, what were you going to do? Sign him the big money, then renegotiate his contract? I mean, we've gotten killed with that already. I think the Eagles, I think they lucked out because it would just made everything more complicated. Now, I want to say this, though. If I'm the Buffalo Bills, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you're on the verge of going to Super Bowl. Why would you not add Zach Ertz for a 4th-round pick? Who cares at this point? You're trying to win. I'd be willing to overpay to get the guy. You know what I'm saying? Instead of risk losing him in free agency if he's cut. So I think a team like Buffalo, I think it's fair in a way that Howie holds the ground right now. I think at this point you play it out into preseason if you have to. And Ertz is going to have to report, and he's going to have to know they're trying to trade me, and I will be moving at some point. But he needs to show up.
Yeah, if that's the case, then then he has to show up. And then I figured this would be done. I mean, I've never seen a team hold on to a player for so long. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's crazy.
I thought they were going to trade him day 2 of the draft. That's when I thought he was going to get moved.
Mm-hmm.
The question is I really would like to know what was the highest offer they received. I would love to know what that is. But I'm telling you, if I'm a team like Buffalo, maybe even Tennessee, those teams, man, you're competing for a Super Bowl. I just don't understand why the Buffalo Bills, if they added Zach Ertz with Diggs and everything else, dude, they're scary.
Yeah, and you don't have to rely on that Buffalo offense. You don't have to rely on Zach Ertz to do everything or be your safety blanket. He's just an extra. He's just a plus for that offense. So why not? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's not to say I don't like Zach Ertz. I love him. He's a Eagle Hall of Famer. But, look, you have to do what's best for your team in the long run sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Yeah, Dragonfire says the analysts are sleeping on Jalen Hurts. All right, and Devontae Smith. We've been hearing – this has gone for weeks. I mean, every analysis out there, guys that we don't even know that are probably – writing from their home right now. Like, there's about Nick trashing Nick Sirianni, trashing Devontae Smith, trashing the rankings from the offensive line to the cornerbacks to, everything. They don't give us anything. Obviously making Carson Wentz the 23rd best quarterback and making Jalen Hurts, and you're going off of 4 games from Jalen Hurts last year. Why do you even rank him at all? Why do you even rank him, period, as of right now? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and look at Devontae Smith. Clearly the second most talented receiver in this draft, right? The guy's a stud. And he goes to the Eagles. As soon as he goes to the Eagles, they got him ranked like the 5th, 6th best wide receiver. How does that happen? If he was in New York, he'd be the number 2 rookie wide receiver this year. Anywhere else, he would be in love. But because he goes to Philly, as far as anybody when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I say this. I have hope that he's going to be good. There's a lot of things I liked about what I saw, and I'm hopeful. But can I tell you that after seeing him 4 games, I know what he is? Anybody that says they don't know what he is, I'm with you because you don't really know. But anybody that says, oh, he's going to be trash or he's going to be the greatest guy ever, you don't know yet. He's played 4 games. 4 games. There's a lot that I like. I have a lot of hope. But we don't know. So when I see rankings like, oh, he's not even the top 40 or whatever, it's just bullshit.
It is bull. He's the guy played 4 games last year. 4. So how do you rank that? How do you rank that? Like, he got thrown into the fire of a benching of Carson Wentz during Green Bay. Like, how are you supposed to rank that? You know what I mean?
See, when I see him ranking him like 40, right, when he's a starting quarterback, he's not even ranked 40. He's a starting quarterback. So he's going to play more than what? 12 12 of those people or whatever, 8 of those people. So how is he not even ranked top 32? It's weird to me, okay? And the thing, like I said about Jalen Hurts is there's a lot of things I like about him. There's a lot of things that I don't know yet. We have to see, you know?
Why don't they rank our coaching staff? I bet you they'll be last. And they probably deserve to be last.
They did. They ranked them 27th, I think. They were ranked
Worse
27th.
than who?
I don't remember who was on it, but we were like 27th coaching staff. Devontae Smith was like 5th or 6th, best wide receiver rookie, right? We didn't have one player on a ranking. There's a top 50 players in the league. We didn't have one player in the top 50. Not even Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelsey, not even Brandon Brooks. I mean, dude, they hate us.
But here's the thing, though. Because I know Slay and Lane Johnson that have seen some things online. So this is only fueling. I mean, this is a good thing. This isn't maybe it pisses people off, but this is a good thing because now the players, they're going to show something. They're going to come out with a punch in Atlanta this year. I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. I would rather play that underdog role all day long. All day long. You know what I mean?
So Don Smith says to ask you what you think about Dan Orlovsky saying Jalen can never be as good as Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I did a video. I think my last video I talked about it. That's the most asinine, ridiculous thing that you can say. Okay, now I've liked Dan Orlovsky because I thought he protected Carson and stuff like that. But how does this work, right? So let's say Jalen Hurts goes out and wins 2-3 Super Bowls. Is he still not better than Carson Wentz at that point, who let's say doesn't win any? How could you possibly say that? Like, to me, that is just a hater comment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a hater comment.
And Kara Pools said it, and I was looking for this because someone actually said it. Orlovsky's been sniffing Wentz's jockstrap for so long. Orlovsky's been a really big Carson Wentz supporter. Like, even when he was with us playing horrible.
But see that, and this is the thing I don't get. Like, okay, you can support Carson Wentz, say, hey, look, I think he's going to go be great at Indianapolis. But how can you say that Jalen Hurts can never be better than him when he hasn't even played yet? He hasn't even had a chance to develop. I mean, it's crazy. What if Carson Wentz is basically the rest of his career, basically what he's been, and Jalen Hurts wins 2 Super Bowls? You're going to tell me Jalen Hurts was never better? It's a ridiculous comment. It's a ding-baddish comment, is what I'll say.
Yeah, no, it's definite. That was good though. I mean, it's off of 4 games. Like, this is off of 4 games.
4 games.
Like,
yeah.
I guess you're looking at. I think the question is to really ask. Like, look, we could probably agree that the Eagles probably didn't build around Carson Wentz the way they're building around Jalen Hurts right now. Probably not. We could probably agree on that.
Right.
Okay. But when you're a quarterback making franchise money and like, you don't say a word after your last game, you don't say a word after the season, you're just quiet. You have people that buy your jerseys. You have this fanhood of Carson Wentz that loves him to death, and he didn't say a word, and just has this PR goodbye statement. Oh, thank you, Darren. Thank you for Eagles organization. Blah blah. Blah. All that, and we didn't want the trade to happen, but then hearing after the trade what really happened, like, he doesn't want Philly media to the Colts media, like, during his like he just doesn't, just mentally not tough. And look, I'm not saying that it's all Carson Wentz's fault. Okay, it involves everybody. It's not just him. It's Howie Roseman. It's the coaching staff. It's everybody. But Carson's on the field, and Carson makes those decisions. Carson's throwing the football. He's got to make those throws.
Right.
Okay, when the guy mechanically can't even throw a screen pass, and he's throwing it 2 yards behind the line. I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem when you're throwing in the same spot, throwing 2 picks a game. It's just, I don't care how predictable this offense was. At least Carson Wentz had to show, like, something. I mean, something at this point.
Well, it's interesting because you're right. It is not, like, I blame Howie Roseman. I blame Doug Peterson. I blame Carson Wentz. They did not draft him players. They did not get him a Devontae Smith. Okay, they never did it. The Jalen Hurts pick itself as I always say, I don't like the strategy. I still am against the strategy of that pick. That was never a reflection on Jalen Hurts. So they did fail him, the front office. Doug Peterson, I know they told him to gain weight and be a pocket passer. And that totally ruined his game. And he was all off, all mentally messed up last year. And I think the coaching staff had something to do with it. And then I think the main responsibility is Carson Wentz. Because when he got benched and when he struggled, what did he do? He cowered. He ducked. He said, I quietly wanted a trade. Like you said, they go to the Colts press conference. He refuses to answer any questions about what happens here. And we're all wondering, like, what the hell is going on? He didn't want to fight for his job. To me, he showed what he was when he didn't want to fight for his job. Because I would have been like, no, this is my team. This is my franchise. I'm going to go win it and prove myself and beat out Jalen Hurts. That, to me, was respectable. He didn't do that. So that really made me lose respect for him. It really did. And the one thing I can say about Jalen Hurts that I like, he seems cool and calm under pressure. He wins over his team, and he's mentally tough. And that's what I really like about him. That's what I'm very hopeful about him with,
We all expected Jalen Hurts to make mistakes.
So we'll see,
Sorry. We're all expected. We expect Jalen Hurts to make. Yeah, it's really late on your side. That's why it's like really late. I don't know why. It's like I don't know what's going on. So with Jalen Hurts, we expected him to make mistakes last year. He made a lot of mistakes last year. A lot. I mean, he progressively got worse over those 4 games. I mean, got worse. But how much short-term success did this offense have? Jalen Hurts only lasted a couple games, really, and then teams figured us out. With certain receivers, they figured us out. Like, Travis Fulgham playing every week, they figured him out. You know what I mean? So, and then you go bench players, and then you put your veterans back into games. That's the problem I was having. Like, Doug was just running his offense every week. I don't think he was or maybe they were trying to game plan, but they really weren't game planning. Like, Doug was just running his offense. Like, that was it. Like, Nick Sirianni is the player. Like, is Nick Sirianni is the coach to where if it's like 3rd and 5, he's not gonna just try to get the 5 yards. He's gonna try to get that big bomb. He's gonna try to get the best play available for those 5 yards that are gonna go way beyond. Doug would just try to get just as much to that point, just as much as possible. Right. So I don't, the Carson Wentz thing, it gets old, but it's always something to talk about because I know down the road we will hear more truth. Once, we will hear a lot more about it. But when you're getting paid that much money, and you know what, like, at least come to your team and be like, hey, like, we're going to do this next year. We're going to get this done. Like, I'd feel better. Like, after that 2019 season when Carson Wentz put the whole team on his back last month of the season to win the NFC East, get into the playoffs, okay, I thought, like, oh, Carson's going to ball out in 2020. He is going to put his name back to the league. He's doing this with guys off the street, okay? And it didn't happen. And if it's true, your theory about they want him to gain weight to be a pocket guy could be true because right now he looks way better. He looks way faster now. I've seen some videos of Carson, and he looks quicker. He looks like he did lose weight.
He looks thinner.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, here's how. I remember in the offseason, they were talking about Carson not getting hurt again because he had gotten a concussion that Seattle game. So they talked about him being a pocket passer, staying in the pocket, right? He comes in, basically he hobbles in, right? He's got donuts, he looks fat as shit. And then here's the key. They ran no plays, hardly any plays where they rolled him out of the pocket. He was the highest percentage passer out of the pocket for a few years, I believe. And they didn't even try to run him all season out of the pocket. And they couldn't. They had to roll him because he couldn't move. He could not move. And I really believe that's a part of it. And I think that also is why he wanted out. There was friction between him and Doug Peterson, right?
Yeah, and I mean, there had to have been friction because he messes up. He gets 2 picks a game, and he's messing up every single time. And he's going to the sideline, and Doug's just pats him on the back. No conversation, no like taking him under his arm, like nothing. Like it was literally like, and he stayed away. Like he went to the sideline, and just stood by himself.
But think about it. You have 14 different offensive linemen all being shuffled in all year. Guys hurt everywhere. The guy's the highest percentage passer outside the pocket. That's where he's best. And you don't do it. You got games and games where he did not move out of the pocket unless he was having to because somebody was trying to catch him or run him down, which most of the times they could. Why not have any designed rollouts or getting him out of the pocket? They did that in 2017. They did not do it last year because he was too big.
Yeah, these Colt fans have no idea. Like, I mean, when I see like Carson Wentz highlights from these Colt fans, and like they're putting together these things on Twitter, they're taking videos from 4 years ago. 4 years ago,
right?
Okay, totally different player 4 years ago till now. So, going into this question right here from Jolo Max is: do you guys think if Carson plays the way he did last year, does Reich bench him early? Do you keep playing him until he comes out of it? I think do you believe that Doug, because the rumors I heard were Doug wanted to bench Carson after like early in the season, but the front office said, no, we got to keep him on the field.
It's so hard to know because I've also heard that they went down and said they wanted Jalen Hurts to get more reps and Doug started fighting. So I don't know what's the truth. You know what I mean? I don't know what the truth is. But obviously people weren't happy. And you know, Doug went on Sirius Radio, right? And he's talking, when we drafted Jalen Hurts, we didn't think any competition or any problems or this would offend Carson or was a slight at Carson. How would you expect him to take it? Of course he's going to take it that way. And, of course, the temptation is going to be too great for the front office and people to come and say, give Jalen Hurts a chance, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably never know, but I mean,
and to answer Joe's question, I don't think they will bench him that quick. I think they're going to let him play the year out.
There is no way that the Colts and Frank Reich are going to put Carson Wentz in that situation. I would be stunned if they benched him because all it's going to do is that's Carson's weakness. If he gets benched, forget it. His mentality is gone. He's going to give up. He might ask for another trade at that point.
And that's
who knows?
And that's really where I lost respect for him. Like I really wanted him to fight for the job. And if he lost it, you lose it. Good. Let's go with Jalen Hurts. Best man win. But to see him, like I look at it like he just wanted the easy way out. To me, that makes me question if he can be that guy that we thought he was.
You're getting a guy in Jalen Hurts that knows how to deal with adversity.
Yes.
That has been through a benching before. That has been benched for Tua in Alabama.
Yes.
That has went through something so low in a college career and kind of just, obviously going to Oklahoma and just resurging his career, and that was the story. And it's I don't see complaining. Like when I see videos of Jalen Hurts training his butt off this offseason, he's telling the fans, I'm working my butt off to play hard for you guys this year, and we're going to get something done this year. That's what I think when we see videos like that.
Yeah, he's mentally tougher than Carson Wentz. There's no question about it. He's also, I think he's very cool under pressure. He's a natural-born leader. The players seem to rally around him. So those are the things that I'm very excited about. The mistakes that happen in 4 games, the throws, maybe mechanics, those kind of things, those can be fixed. Okay, but the stuff that you can't teach, he's got inside him already.
And this was perfect for Mikey Greenbeans. You cannot be an effective QB in this league or at any level if you don't have the ability to lead men.
100%.
Because really, like, what the quarterback does is going to feed off. It's going to go off his vibe, the way he is on the field and how he reacts getting off the field when he messes up is going to drip on everybody else.
I agree.
And that's what it did. When Jalen Hurts became the starter, Miles Sanders got up and he still had his pads on. He was like, "Oh, I can't wait." Blah blah blah. The offense changed obviously because Hurts has a different skill set, obviously, and you can obviously do your read options. You can do your RPOs because I feel like Doug is better with an RPO guy. Obviously, Nick Foles, doing a really good job for 2 years here. You know what I mean? So it just worked out for the better. But obviously, being a predictable offense, and then obviously with Schwartz on defense, not knowing how to use corners and linebackers, not blitzing, picket fence defense, just never trusting his players, no development. It's just been a total mess.
Listen. When Frank Reich, when he left, right, that offense never looked the same again. They went into playoffs with Nick Foles. They had that bye week. They came out with the RPOs. They went back and looked. That, to me, I believe that was Frank Reich. Then, next year, Frank Reich's gone, and Doug, instead of going back to what Carson did well, he tried to make Carson run RPOs and become an RPO quarterback because he wanted to do that offense. Dick Vermeil once said that a good coach can take the talent around him and build the offense on that, not put basically a square peg in a round hole. I feel like Doug Peterson, after Frank Reich left, always was trying to fit guys where they didn't fit in. He was trying to do things that didn't work. He didn't play to our strengths. If you were playing to our strengths, Miles Sanders would have had a lot more than 164 attempts or whatever it was. Okay, he didn't. He tried to force things. You can't do that.
Yeah. No, you can't, and and obviously you can only get away with it for so long, because obviously Doug's done better. He has done better with backup quarterbacks. He's just obviously we've seen it the past 4 years. So when you have a guy like Carson Wentz that's on your roster not being developed right, and you're trying to not use him to his strengths, which is the total opposite what Nick Sirianni wants to do. I don't know. I think Nick Sirianni, this is going to be his best quarterback he's ever had and coached so far in his career. I mean, look what he did with the Colts, taking 3 different quarterbacks: Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers. Fill me in.
He had Luck, didn't he have Luck?
And Andrew Luck. So 3 different skill sets, and when Phillip Rivers went there, I was like, he ain't gonna. I mean, he might. I mean, I think he deserved to go to another team, but I didn't think he was actually gonna play that good. He actually played really well. Right. I was actually surprised. So, I think this offense is built for Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Brian Johnson is a QB coach. You know how far those roots go back. Yeah, and Shane Steichen knows how to use quarterbacks. Look what he did with the Chargers with Herbert. Just look at what he's done. You know what I mean? So with Nick Sirianni, I think really all this team it's going up. This is a building block stage, guys. This 2021 season is really finding your building block pieces. This is why when we develop players, you don't have to restructure every year. You don't have to dip in free agency every single year and spend all this money. And then when nothing works out and your season goes to nothing, then you have to keep restructuring. And then you have to get under the cap. And you have to go all through. We need a cap. We need stability with the cap, and that's only going to happen if we develop players. And obviously, is Howie Roseman might have drafted a pretty good draft, other than obviously the second round pick that we're kind of iffy about. But I think they actually had a very good draft.
Well, let me tell you, if that second round pick is healthy and can play, you had a great draft because you're going to get a stud in Devontae Smith. I think then you have a stud in Dickerson. I think Professor Kenneth Gainwell. I think he's going to be effective this year. And then we'll see about some of these other guys. But, if you get 3 guys out of this draft and then you go in the next draft and you can actually focus on, defense, you know what I mean? You could build something special, and then you want to have cap space. And then you need that 1 or 2 guy. That's when you go and you pounce. So hopefully they're building it the right way. Obviously, a lot of it's going to depend on Jalen Hurts. And, I'm excited about Hurts. I think he's going to do pretty good. The great thing about this situation we're in this year is though we may be building and we have a lot of young guys, this division stinks. It actually stinks. So I think the Eagles can compete, and I think they can win a division. Now, I'm not saying they're Super Bowl contenders going to win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying they can win this division. It's not that good.
No, it's not, because when you look at the division, it's like you have the Cowboys right now. Obviously, Dak Prescott coming off injury. I don't care what the reports say about how good he looks against his own players at training camp or at OTAs. I mean, it only when you're getting hit, when people are going at your legs and it's real, then it's a whole different story. You have Washington that has a pretty good roster and obviously is a quarterback away from doing some really big things. Obviously, their secondary, I'm not really big on their secondary too much. But I think defensive line, I think linebackers are great, safeties are great. I don't know what happened, but he'll come back. Like I said, guys, and then the Giants look really good on paper right now. I'm from New York, and I see Giant fans all over the place. I see Jet fans all over the place. And with the Giants, they have really good players on paper. They have a good roster. It's all right.
I don't know what happened. It just my whole phone just reset.
I was just talking about the New York Giants and how, they look really good on paper, but they spend a lot of money. I mean, they kind of just said, we're just going to do a clean slate and we're just going to free up a lot of cap and we're just going to go after the players we need to get to win a championship.
We've seen guys go out and teams spend big money. We've done it ourselves, and then they're not as effective. Look, when it comes to the Giants, dude, I think their offensive line is a question. I think their quarterback is a big question. You got Saquon Barkley, who's coming back from a torn ACL. Usually that takes 2 years. So I think the Giants, there's a lot of question marks. They only won 5 games last year. Hey, Giant fans act like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They won 5 games.
You gotta put it out on the field, and you gotta see even with getting Galladay, which was huge. Okay, right. But that guy is so injury prone. Like that guy is so hurt all the time. Like you never know. Yeah, they got Kadarius Toney. They totally reached for. A lot of Giant fans say that he was a first round talent, which he was not. No. Not even close. They should have got that guy. They should have, if they were to get a guy in the first round, they should have got the guy from Minnesota. What's his name? The receiver from Minnesota. Rashad Bateman was that guy that I was thinking that they were gonna go get. Obviously, with that trade with Chicago, they got the first round pick. So they did good. They did really well on that. That was a good trade.
The Giants' second round pick, which his name's slipping me right now, but his second round pick that they took was actually, to me, better than the first round pick. I would have took him in the first round before I took Toney. Toney was a second rounder.
Yeah. So when it comes, so like I said, when it comes to the Giants, and look, I'm from New York. I'm around Giant fans all the time. So it's exciting for them. They think they're going far this year. But I'm telling you right now, it's really going to be on the quarterback. It's going to be on the head coach. It's really going to be all the pressure's on Daniel Jones right now. It's all on Daniel Jones right now. So
right. Well, look. Look. Yeah, no, I agree. And look, Washington's a quarterback away. They have a pretty good roster, but they're quarterback away. And then Dallas has a quarterback, but he's coming back from injury, and their defense has been atrocious. I mean, so there's holes with every one of these teams. And if the Eagles can stay relatively healthy, and Jalen Hurts is a good player and develops like we think he can, there's no reason why the Eagles cannot win this division.
If everybody puts in the work, because this offense isn't going to be based off of one or two guys. It's not going to be based off of just Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. These receivers are going to be interchangeable. It's going to be a totally different offense. It's going to be, I'm telling you right now, it's going to take everybody to win this year. It is. And if the Eagles win the division this year, that's a huge step forward going into next year.
Well, imagine if they win the division, Jalen Hurts is the guy. Right? Mm-hmm. Devontae Smith goes out, has a great year. And now you have 3 first-round picks going into the draft. Now you can say, you know what? Let's just go corner, defensive end, maybe another offensive lineman, maybe a linebacker. All of a sudden, the foundation for a defense could be set big time. So this is it'll be huge. Jalen Hurts is the key, man. He is the key.
Yeah, it's going to show you, so the Eagles don't have to spend a first-round pick, in the draft on a quarterback, which is really not a good class next year. And then you don't have to trade for Deshaun Watson. You don't have to go for a move like that. Not saying anything bad about Deshaun Watson.
I don't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
I just want to say this. The Deshaun Watson rumors are real. There's legitimate interest. But what people don't understand is the Eagles are looking at him as a fallback option in 2 years. After the season. Let's say he gets everything taken care of and cleared or over with, right? All his off the field trouble. And let's say Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. At that point, the Eagles may throw a first round pick for Deshaun Watson. I could see it. But they don't want him now. They want him as a fallback option.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. But really, the best case scenario is Jalen Hurts to be good. That's what we want.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think if Jalen Hurts has a really bad year this year, I can't see him doing worse than what Carson did last year. I just can't.
No.
I just can't see it.
I
really can't see it.
No, because
I think
Go ahead.
this roster is just better. This roster is just. It's not even just the roster, but I think the right coaches are in place for the roster to perform and to get these guys in the right position to win football games this year. I just think they're just in a better position this year.
I honestly think if Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, and Kelsey stay relatively healthy this year, I think going out getting Kerryon Johnson, Jordan Howard, I think you're going to see a much better running game, a much more balanced running game. I think Miles Sanders is going to have a huge year. I think he's going to have a monster year this year. And just doing that, just having a running game that you can rely on, will make Jalen Hurts have a better year than Carson did last year. Just by doing that.
Yeah. No, and plus because now when you have a running game, like see now when you have bad receivers, you have no speed. You have to use double tight end sets. You got to use 12-man personnel because you have no speed on the outside. When you have a Devontae Smith, when you have a Jalen Reagor, and you have whoever else is going to be on the outside, or I know if Greg Ward and Jalen Reagor might switch at depending on the matchups for every week, in the slot, the defense is going to get spread out, and you're going to have a lot of chunk space to be running through. And I know we had last year. I think Miles Sanders could have had 1,000 yards last year. I think he could have had a Pro Bowl year last year easily. But obviously, because of how many carries he's had a game, or barely using him at all, or straying away from the run after the first half of games, and Doug Pearson doing his little tinkers, his tinks with the run game and not doing it at all, it messed everything up. So, but once Hurts was in with Miles Sanders, and the attention that Miles and Hurts are going to get alone in the backfield with that read option or whatever they're doing, plus those receivers, I'm telling you, it's going to take one step. That's all it's going to take for a play to develop. I'm telling you right now.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I also think by getting away from the 12-man personnel and putting more speed on there, it's only going to open up things more for those guys. I really believe that.
Yeah. Got Torville says, Miles Sanders has the potential to be a great, but he gets nicked up way too easy. I don't know when he can handle 20 carries a game. He's getting injured handling 10 carries a game. Here's this. I don't know if the Eagles are going to think that Miles Sanders is expendable because here's my thought. Because you just drafted a 5th-round pick in Professor Kenneth Gainwell that could potentially be like that nice second punch for this offense. And like I said, depending if they're keeping 3 or 4, running backs, there's 8 running backs in competition right now. And I think me and Philly 500 agree that you could have Miles Sanders, you could have Kerryon Johnson beating Jordan Howard. You could have Kenneth Gainwell beating out Boston Scott, because I think Kenneth Gainwell I think he's more of a dual threat running back that has hands so smooth like wide receiver hands. He catches the ball fluently very well. His tape is crazy. I think, I hope they keep Miles, but if they think, well, Kenneth Gainwell, if he has a good year this year, if he's putting up some yards this year, there might be a little change and shift and say instead of giving Miles a big contract, they could keep Kenneth for the future. So you really never know at this point what they'll do.
Yeah, it's interesting. You don't know what they're going to do. But, he's talking about 20 carries a game. I don't think he needs 20 carries a game. I think he needs about 12 to 15 carries and then about another 10 touches through the air. I think you have to use Miles Sanders more also in the receiving game. To me, my biggest complaint with Miles Sanders last year was I thought his receiving game took a step back. Okay? But I think also here, I'm going to put something weird out there, but sometimes I wonder when guys are used and then they're taken out for long periods of time.
Oh, God,
and then used again. I often wonder if that doesn't help create the injuries. Sometimes when you get going and your body's going, and then you have to pull back and then go back. I wonder sometimes if the way the Eagles used him wasn't the amount of carries that he got, but just how they use him doesn't help push those injuries.
Yeah, well, the rumors, I don't know what...
It's like that old...
Sorry, my bad.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's too late because you're lagging a little bit. That's why it's doing that. So there was rumors about, I don't know, what are the rumors you heard about the practices? Because I heard the practices were either too soft, where they weren't being physical enough during the week, that when they get to games, they totally just get nicked up so badly, or is it that that Doug was pushing them too hard during the week? I don't know what the case is with that.
No, I never heard Doug push them enough. It was always too light, never enough contact. I mean, look, you have a lot of injuries today, and I really do think a lot of it has to do because these guys aren't used to taking the hits all week long, and then you get into these games. I mean, back when I grew up and we did high school, we did 2-a-day practices. You probably did too, okay? Yeah. And we hit full contact in the afternoon. So I think these guys not getting hit, I think it makes them get more injured. I really do. That's why I say when you use Miles Sanders the first half, you take him out, then you put him back in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's even you can even go last year, like the year before, even 2019. You can go as well. Like when they were seeing like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside when he made a couple catches or made a catch and then he's running to the sideline. Like, why do you not keep the hot hand in the game? Like keep the hot hand in the game. It makes no sense at all what they're doing. Like he makes it. They did the same thing with I forgot his name, but I'll figure it out later. But Shelton Gibson was another guy that they never kept him in games. He made that one catch in that Vikings game over 2 guys, and then he just runs to the sideline. Like, I don't get that. Like, why do they take receivers out? Like, is it according to the certain plays that they do? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, just look at Travis Fulgham, right? For like 3 weeks, he was the best receiver in football. Alshon Jeffrey comes back. Oh, we're gonna just insert Alshon Jeffrey. And then he was not the same after that. He was not the same after they took him out. Even Andre Dillard, he played left tackle a couple times, was okay. Then they move him to right tackle, screwed him up. Big time. Was not the same.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. Like you said, like every time you get drafted in the first round, you're always dealt wrong in Philadelphia. When they drafted Andre Dillard, they said, "Oh, well, you're going to be a backup because we brought Jason Peters back, and that's how it's going to be." So then, when old man Peters couldn't, stay on his cane, he couldn't, he couldn't stay on his cane for that long, and he was getting too tired, he was getting too fatigued out in games. Right. They had to take him out. You know what I mean? I think. Sorry, I almost messed up my mic. I think the positive out of this season so far is they haven't brought back like players like that. They haven't brought back. I think that's. I've been praying to God that they weren't going to do it, but they've been literally not doing that. Bringing back players. Nick Sirianni has definitely had a big voice, not just free agency, not just the draft, but this. How he wants his team to be, and that's Nate Gary not being here. Nate Gary, he just got released by the. By the way, Nathan Gary just got released by the 49ers a couple days ago. The guy didn't even make it to 49ers training camp.
I could have saved the 49ers whatever money they signed him, because I could have told them, stay the hell away from him. He stinks. He's horrible. It's not a surprise, dude. Nobody ever frustrated me. Like I almost had a heart attack on my live stream during that Pittsburgh game with him. Like he just aggravated the crap out of me.
Yeah, I even watched that touchdown with that slot. When I forgot the receiver from Pittsburgh that torched them. They put him on the inside. Yeah,
Claypool.
Yeah, totally torched him. He got beat on one step.
Yeah, well, and I got a. He shouldn't have been on the field. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
I don't know either.
It's crazy.
But we have 127 people in the chat, guys. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. If you guys have it really does help the channel a lot. If you guys haven't subscribed to the best half of the Philly Shakedown podcast, Philly 500, his link is in the description below. We're very excited. We appreciate everybody being in here tonight, and it's a slow month, and the amount of people that are in here. And honestly, we don't really know. We kind of know what to talk about every night, every week, but when it's dead like this. But we just like to just go on, just randomly and just go on what we could talk about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's great, and we appreciate everybody being here. But we are going to we're going to end this today. for tonight, and appreciate. I wasn't looking at the time. See, when we talk, we just go on and on. But.
Yeah, we'll keep going. But you know what? You said you were going to talk about what we're thinking about next week. We should let some of those guys know.
So next week, the Philly Shakedown podcast next Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be on Philly 500's channel. We're going to do a content creator call-in. So it's obviously just going to be for content creators that call in. They get a few minutes here and there, and obviously we'll shout everybody out. We want to support everybody, and obviously let you guys choose. On certain content creators you guys do like, and kind of want to introduce a lot more people. So if you guys haven't, just tune in next Saturday, and we're gonna do a content creator call-in, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll have there should be a lot of people coming on. So.
Yeah, and if you're a content creator, you'll want to be at that show. That's a perfect chance to be able to come on and let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we'll definitely have a lot of fun doing that. But like I said, guys, appreciate the super chats tonight, and obviously, guys just tuning in when there's really nothing going on. So it really does. It really shows you guys do care about this podcast and care about us as content creators. So we want to thank you guys for being patient. We try to put out content when we can. Me and Philly 500, we both went on vacation. We both took time off, and we feel really good right now, nice and recharged, and we're ready for training camp and ready for preseason. And then obviously we're ready for the season. So, we're good.
Absolutely.
So, I think that's
we're going to be double moonwalking ass all year. Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And we will see you guys later. Guys, remember, Shake Squad up, Flawless Fly. Peace out, guys. See you guys later. Thanks for joining, guys.